In the intricate dance of human relationships, understanding the dynamics at play is crucial for fostering genuine connections and safeguarding against potential manipulation. This exploration delves into the nuanced realm of relationships, specifically examining scenarios where a woman might be exploiting a Stoic man's inherent traits, not as a means of assigning blame, but rather as a path toward greater awareness and empowerment. By dissecting specific behaviors and communication patterns, the goal is to equip individuals with the knowledge necessary to identify potentially exploitative situations, establish healthy boundaries, and cultivate relationships founded on mutual respect and genuine affection, ultimately steering clear of one-sided interactions that can subtly erode self-worth and emotional well-being. So buckle up as we go through the different signs and what you need to do if these resonate with you. 1. Ignoring your needs, a one-way street of affection and support. Imagine being in a relationship where your efforts to nurture connection and demonstrate care are consistently met with indifference, creating a palpable imbalance in the emotional exchange. The dynamic resembles a one-way street, where you find yourself perpetually extending yourself to meet your partner's needs, providing unwavering support, and showering her with affection, only to receive minimal reciprocation in return. This can happen when you're always there for her, doing things to make her happy, but she doesn't do the same for you. It's especially true when we talk about the things that make you feel close and connected, like being affectionate or understanding what you like. It's like she's only thinking about herself. Your attempts to deepen the emotional intimacy of the relationship, by initiating heartfelt conversations, planning intimate moments, or expressing your own vulnerabilities, are frequently met with disinterest or outright dismissal. Your emotional needs, such as the desire for physical affection, words of affirmation, or acts of service, seem to be consistently overlooked or trivialized, leaving you feeling emotionally depleted and undervalued. This disregard for your emotional well-being extends beyond romantic gestures. It permeates everyday interactions, where your opinions, preferences, and feelings are often dismissed or minimized, reinforcing the sense that your emotional landscape is of little importance to your partner. Your repeated attempts to communicate your unmet needs and express the emotional void you're experiencing are met with resistance or defensiveness, further exacerbating the imbalance and leaving you feeling unheard and isolated. This consistent pattern of emotional neglect not only undermines your self-esteem and sense of worth but also creates a fertile ground for resentment to fester, gradually eroding the foundation of the relationship and jeopardizing its long-term viability. The constant lack of emotional reciprocation can lead to feelings of loneliness, frustration, and a growing sense of disconnect from your partner, as the emotional chasm between you widens, making it increasingly difficult to bridge the gap and restore the equilibrium necessary for a healthy, thriving relationship. So if you've ever felt like you're giving a lot but not getting much back, especially in how you connect on a deeper level, then this part of the video is going to open your eyes. We'll talk about how important it is for both people in a relationship to care about each other's needs and how to tell if you're in a situation where you're being ignored. An investigation into the psychology of reciprocity suggests that balanced exchanges of support and affection are vital for maintaining relationship satisfaction and stability. When one partner consistently fails to reciprocate, it can lead to feelings of resentment, decreased intimacy, and ultimately, relationship dissolution. Therefore, recognizing and addressing this imbalance is crucial for fostering healthier relationship dynamics. I'd also like to share the experience of someone who was in a relationship where their emotional needs were constantly ignored, leaving them feeling isolated and unfulfilled. Despite their efforts to communicate their feelings and seek support, their partner remained emotionally distant and dismissive. Eventually, they realized that they deserved to be with someone who valued their emotions and reciprocated their affection. This is the first step to moving forward to a better relationship. Returning to the topic, as this dynamic unfolds, it's essential to recognize the subtle signs of emotional exploitation and take proactive steps to address the imbalance. Open and honest communication is paramount, where you assertively express your needs and expectations, setting clear boundaries and refusing to accept anything less than mutual respect and consideration. Understanding the science of communication could prove useful at this stage. Albert Mehrabian's communication model highlights that words only contribute 7% to the overall impact of a message. Body language accounts for 55%, while tone of voice contributes 38%. This model emphasizes the importance of nonverbal cues in communication, suggesting that how something is said can be just as important as what is said. Returning to the topic, if your attempts to communicate are consistently met with resistance or defensiveness, it may be necessary to seek professional guidance from a therapist or counselor who can provide objective insights and facilitate constructive dialogue between you and your partner. Ultimately, prioritizing your emotional well-being and refusing to settle for a relationship where your needs are consistently ignored is essential for cultivating self-respect and paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. 2. Avoiding important conversations, a barrier to intimacy and transparency. Imagine attempting to navigate the complexities of your relationship, only to encounter a constant wall of evasion and deflection when broaching topics of substance. The feeling of being emotionally stonewalled can be particularly disheartening, especially when you're seeking clarity, honesty, and genuine connection with your partner. This behavior manifests as a consistent pattern of avoiding important conversations, where your attempts to discuss the trajectory of the relationship, address underlying issues, or express your deepest feelings are met with resistance or diversionary tactics. It's like when you're trying to have a serious talk about your relationship, but the other person just doesn't want to go there. You ask something meaningful, maybe about where your relationship is heading or how she truly feels, and she either changes the subject, gets a bit annoyed, or gives vague answers. It's frustrating, right? Your inquiries about the future of the relationship, whether it involves long-term commitments, shared goals, or simply defining the nature of your connection, are met with ambiguous responses or vague promises that lack substance and conviction. When you attempt to delve into the emotional core of the relationship, exploring your partner's feelings, addressing conflicts, or expressing your own vulnerabilities, she deftly sidesteps the conversation, employing tactics such as changing the subject, making light of the situation, or feigning disinterest, leaving you feeling dismissed and invalidated. This consistent pattern of avoidance creates a sense of emotional distance, making it increasingly difficult to foster intimacy, trust, and genuine understanding within the relationship. Your repeated attempts to initiate meaningful conversations are met with frustration, as your partner consistently deflects, minimizes, or outright avoids engaging in substantive dialogue, leaving you feeling unheard, unseen, and emotionally disconnected. This avoidance tactic not only hinders the resolution of conflicts and perpetuates misunderstandings but also undermines the foundation of the relationship, eroding trust and leaving you feeling perpetually in the dark about your partner's true feelings and intentions. This part is all about those moments when you feel like you're talking to a wall. You want honesty and openness, but all you get are evasive replies. We're going to discuss why clear and honest communication is key in a relationship and what it means when it's missing. If you're tired of feeling left in the dark and want to know more about how to handle these situations, this part is for you. Insights from communication theory emphasize the importance of openness and transparency in building strong relationships. Avoidance of crucial conversations can lead to misunderstandings, unresolved conflicts, and a decline in overall relationship satisfaction. I'd also like to share the account of an individual who found themselves consistently facing avoidance tactics from their partner whenever they tried to have meaningful conversations. Over time, this pattern of avoidance eroded their trust and left them feeling emotionally isolated. They learned the importance of asserting their need for open communication and ultimately made the difficult decision to end the relationship, prioritizing their own emotional well-being. Returning to the topic, recognizing this pattern of avoidance is the first step towards addressing the issue and reclaiming your emotional agency within the relationship. It's essential to assert your need for open and honest communication, setting clear boundaries and refusing to accept anything less than transparency and authenticity. In this step, you may want to understand a study on attachment styles could provide some useful insights. Secure attachment styles typically facilitate open and honest communication, while anxious or avoidant attachment styles may hinder it. Understanding your partner's attachment style can help you tailor your communication approach to better meet their needs and foster more meaningful conversations. Returning to the topic, when initiating difficult conversations, approach your partner with empathy and understanding, expressing your feelings without blame or judgment, and creating a safe space for her to share her thoughts and emotions. If your attempts to communicate are consistently met with resistance or deflection, it may be necessary to seek professional guidance from a therapist or counselor who can facilitate constructive dialogue and help you and your partner develop healthier communication patterns. Ultimately, prioritizing your emotional well-being and refusing to settle for a relationship where your need for open and honest communication is consistently unmet is essential for fostering self-respect and paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. 3. Vague promises about the future, mirage of commitment and shared dreams. Envision yourself in a relationship where the allure of a shared future is constantly dangled before you, yet concrete steps toward realizing those dreams remain perpetually out of reach, leaving you suspended in a state of perpetual anticipation. The presence of vague promises can often create a mirage of commitment, where the promise of a future together is repeatedly invoked, but tangible actions and concrete plans to translate those words into reality are conspicuously absent. It's like they say things that sound nice about being together long-term, but there are never any real plans or actions. This part of our video is all about those vague promises. It's when she might talk about moving in together, going on a big trip, or even just planning something special, but then nothing comes of it. These empty promises can make you feel stuck, like you're waiting for something that's never going to come. Your partner may express enthusiasm about future milestones, such as moving in together, taking exotic vacations, or embarking on shared projects, but these declarations are never accompanied by concrete timelines, specific arrangements, or demonstrable efforts to bring those visions to fruition. When you attempt to delve into the details of these future plans, seeking clarification and tangible commitments, you encounter resistance, ambiguity, or a shifting of the goalposts, leaving you feeling increasingly disillusioned and uncertain about the sincerity of your partner's intentions. This pattern of vague promises can create a sense of emotional limbo, where you find yourself perpetually waiting for a future that never materializes, investing your time, energy, and emotions into a relationship built on empty assurances and unfulfilled expectations. Your repeated attempts to solidify these future plans are met with excuses, postponements, or a gradual erosion of enthusiasm, leaving you feeling increasingly skeptical and questioning the authenticity of your partner's commitment to the relationship. These empty promises can make you feel stuck, like you're waiting for something that's never going to come. We'll explore why it's important for words to match actions in a relationship and how to tell if you're just being strung along with pretty words. If you're wondering why those big plans never seem to turn into reality, this segment will shed some light on what might be going on. Research on goal-setting theory suggests that specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, SMART, goals are more likely to be realized. Vague promises lack these characteristics, making them less likely to translate into concrete actions. I'd also like to talk about someone who found themselves repeatedly disappointed by their partner's inability to follow through on future plans, leading to a deep sense of betrayal and disillusionment. They realized that actions speak louder than words and ultimately chose to prioritize their own happiness by seeking a relationship where commitments were honored and promises were kept. Returning to the topic, recognizing this pattern of empty promises is essential for reclaiming your agency and protecting yourself from emotional manipulation within the relationship. It's crucial to evaluate your partner's words against their actions, assessing whether their declarations of commitment are supported by tangible efforts and demonstrable follow-through. In situations like this one, understanding how to evaluate commitment in a relationship is essential. A study on commitment and relationship maintenance behaviors could be beneficial. Findings suggest that commitment is often reflected through actions that demonstrate investment, such as making sacrifices, expressing positive illusions about the partner, and engaging in shared activities. Returning to the topic, when discussing future plans, insist on specific timelines, concrete arrangements, and a clear division of responsibilities, refusing to accept vague assurances that lack substance and conviction. If your partner consistently fails to honor their commitments or provide tangible evidence of their dedication to the future of the relationship, it may be necessary to reevaluate your investment and prioritize your own emotional well-being. Ultimately, refusing to settle for a relationship built on empty promises and unfulfilled expectations is essential for cultivating self-respect and paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. 4. Keeping the relationship secret, a shadow of shame and concealment. Imagine navigating a relationship where your existence is relegated to the shadows, concealed from the world and treated as a clandestine affair, leaving you feeling marginalized and undervalued. The act of keeping a relationship secret often stems from a desire to control perceptions, maintain options, or avoid scrutiny, but its impact on the individual relegated to the shadows can be deeply damaging. Maybe she avoids holding your hand in public, doesn't introduce you to her friends, or keeps your relationship off social media. It's like she wants to keep you a secret. Your attempts to integrate your partner into your social circle are met with resistance, as she avoids meeting your friends, attending social gatherings, or acknowledging your relationship in public settings, reinforcing the sense that your connection is something to be hidden rather than celebrated. The act of keeping a relationship secret often stems from a desire to control perceptions, maintain options, or avoid scrutiny, but its impact on the individual relegated to the shadows can be deeply damaging. The desire for the relationship to be recognized is a common one in most people. Maybe she avoids holding your hand in public, doesn't introduce you to her friends, or keeps your relationship off social media. It's like she wants to keep you a secret. Your attempts to integrate your partner into your social circle are met with resistance, as she avoids meeting your friends, attending social gatherings, or acknowledging your relationship in public settings, reinforcing the sense that your connection is something to be hidden rather than celebrated. This can be hurtful. It might make you feel like you're not important or that she's not proud to be with you. This concealment extends to social media, where your partner avoids posting photos of you together, mentioning your relationship status, or acknowledging your presence in her online life, further perpetuating the sense that your connection is something to be concealed from the world. Your attempts to discuss the reasons behind this secrecy are met with defensiveness, excuses, or a reluctance to address the underlying insecurities or ulterior motives that may be driving this behavior, leaving you feeling dismissed and invalidated. This sense of invisibility not only undermines your self-esteem and sense of worth but also creates a fertile ground for suspicion and distrust, as you begin to question the authenticity of your partner's feelings and the true nature of your connection. This can be hurtful. It might make you feel like you're not important or that she's not proud to be with you. In this segment, we'll dive into why someone might want to hide their relationship and what it means for you. It's important to feel valued and recognized in a relationship, not hidden away. If you've ever felt like you're a secret part of someone's life, we're going to talk about why that's not okay and what you can do about it. Research on self-esteem and relationship satisfaction highlights the importance of feeling valued and accepted in a relationship. When a relationship is kept secret, it can lead to feelings of insecurity and diminished self-worth. I'd also like to share the story of someone who discovered that their partner was intentionally concealing their relationship from their family and friends, leading to a profound sense of betrayal and a realization that they were not being treated with the respect and transparency they deserved. This is not okay, and you need to know it. Returning to the topic, it's essential to recognize the signs of this emotional manipulation and take proactive steps to address the issue and reclaim your sense of agency within the relationship. At this stage, understanding the concept of secure attachment may be useful. Secure attachment is characterized by trust, openness, and a willingness to share one's life with a partner, while insecure attachment patterns may manifest as secrecy or avoidance. Assessing your partner's attachment style could provide insights into their behavior. Returning to the topic, open and honest communication is paramount, where you assertively express your need for transparency and visibility in the relationship, setting clear boundaries and refusing to accept anything less than mutual respect and acknowledgement. If your partner is unable or unwilling to meet your needs for openness and transparency, it may be necessary to reevaluate your investment in the relationship and prioritize your own emotional well-being. Ultimately, refusing to settle for a relationship that is relegated to the shadows and shrouded in secrecy is essential for cultivating self-respect and paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. 5. Using emotional leverage, a game of manipulation and control. Envision yourself trapped in a relationship where your emotions are weaponized against you, manipulated to control your behavior and ensure your compliance, leaving you feeling powerless and emotionally drained. This occurs when a partner uses your feelings to get what she wants. The use of emotional leverage often manifests as a subtle but pervasive pattern of manipulation, where your partner exploits your vulnerabilities, insecurities, or empathetic nature to gain an unfair advantage or exert control over your decisions. You always end up doing things her way, not because you want to, but because you're afraid of how she'll react if you don't. It's like walking on eggshells. She might get upset or give you the silent treatment if things don't go her way. Your attempts to assert your own needs or express dissenting opinions are met with emotional outbursts, guilt trips, or threats of withdrawal, creating a climate of fear and coercion that stifles your autonomy and self-expression. This manipulation extends beyond major decisions. It permeates everyday interactions, where your partner uses subtle tactics such as passive-aggressive comments, emotional blackmail, or playing the victim to elicit sympathy and ensure your compliance. Your empathetic nature is exploited to guilt you into sacrificing your own needs and desires for the sake of appeasing your partner, creating a dynamic where your emotional well-being is consistently compromised and your autonomy is eroded. The fear of triggering your partner's negative reactions leads you to walk on eggshells, constantly monitoring your words and actions to avoid causing offense or provoking an emotional outburst, creating a sense of anxiety and unease that permeates every aspect of the relationship. This is a tricky situation because it's about more than just actions, it's about using emotions as a tool. In this segment, we'll explore how emotional manipulation can happen in relationships and the signs that it's taking place. We'll also talk about how to stand up for yourself and set healthy boundaries. If you've ever felt like you're being emotionally controlled or pressured, this part of the video is especially for you. Research on emotional intelligence highlights the importance of recognizing and managing emotions in a healthy way. Emotional manipulation involves exploiting emotions to control or influence others, which can be detrimental to both the manipulator and the manipulated. I'd also like to share the experience of someone who found themselves constantly subjected to emotional manipulation by their partner, leading to a gradual erosion of their self-esteem and a growing sense of helplessness. They eventually realized that they deserved to be treated with respect and empathy and sought therapy to develop the skills necessary to assert their boundaries and reclaim their emotional autonomy. Returning to the topic, recognizing the signs of emotional manipulation is the first step toward breaking free from this cycle of control and reclaiming your sense of agency within the relationship. It's essential to assert your boundaries, communicate your needs assertively, and refuse to be swayed by emotional blackmail, guilt trips, or threats of withdrawal. At this point, understanding the principles of nonviolent communication, NVC, can provide valuable strategies for expressing your needs and feelings assertively without resorting to blame or defensiveness. NVC emphasizes empathy, honesty, and clear articulation of needs, which can help break patterns of emotional manipulation. Returning to the topic, if your partner consistently resorts to emotional manipulation despite your efforts to communicate assertively and set boundaries, it may be necessary to seek professional guidance from a therapist or counselor who can provide objective insights and support you in developing healthier relationship dynamics. Ultimately, prioritizing your emotional well-being and refusing to tolerate emotional manipulation is essential for cultivating self-respect and paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. Conclusion: Empowerment through awareness and action. As we conclude this examination of potentially exploitative dynamics in relationships, it's crucial to underscore the importance of awareness, empowerment, and proactive action in fostering healthy connections. Remember, recognizing these signs is the first step toward change. It's about understanding the dynamics of your relationships and ensuring you're treated with respect and fairness. If any of these points resonated with you, it might be time to reevaluate and take action. By understanding the subtle nuances of emotional manipulation, the importance of open communication, and the necessity of establishing firm boundaries, individuals can equip themselves with the tools necessary to navigate the complexities of human relationships with confidence and self-assurance. It's essential to remember that you deserve to be treated with respect, empathy, and genuine affection, and that you have the power to create relationships that are built on mutual trust, support, and understanding. If you're interested in exploring more about Stoicism, relationships, and personal growth, make sure to connect with us on the Stoic Prowess YouTube channel. Here, we dive deep into the art of living a balanced and meaningful life, guided by Stoic wisdom. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with someone who might find it helpful, and subscribe to Stoic Prowess for more content that helps you navigate life's challenges with strength and clarity. By embracing self-awareness, asserting your boundaries, and prioritizing your emotional well-being, you can cultivate relationships that are not only fulfilling but also contribute to your personal growth, happiness, and overall sense of well-being. This journey of self-discovery and empowerment is ongoing, and with each step you take towards greater awareness and authenticity, you pave the way for healthier, more meaningful connections in the future. Remember, your worth is not contingent upon the approval or validation of others, and you have the right to demand respect, honesty, and genuine affection in all of your relationships. Thank you for joining us today. Stay strong, stay aware, and continue your journey to becoming your best self with Stoic Prowess. As a final step, I would like to recommend to everyone to take some time to reflect on their individual journey and think about how these important lessons apply to their relationships. After all, the path to a more authentic life begins with a commitment to self-discovery.